So, hey there, listeners on BCB Radio, and for that matter, we've got viewers as well on the YouTubes with our new 2-camera setup. Woo! Woo! Welcome to IT Stuff for the end of August 2016. Yeah, you listeners, you've let another 4 weeks just slip past again, haven't you? Right? You've not done them security updates, you've not done your backups, you've not run any virus scans. What are you waiting for, right? Just go away right now, get that done, and then we'll all still be here through the magic of Listen Again, playing Windows 10 jingles to each other, because we're useless that way. Okay, but you're not going to come back, will you? Because you never get round to podcasts like us, right? You never get round to podcasts.
No. I'll put them on and I'll just leave them playing and then I'll walk away.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think I've got some from November last year.
It's attention span problems, isn't it? Yeah.
Are you using podcasts?
Yeah. Well, I like to, but I never get the time.
Yeah.
Just what you need to do
I'm
is
too
start
busy
some sort of
saving.
exercising, and then while you're exercising, you listen to your podcast.
Ooh. How can you listen to a podcast when you're catching Pokémon?
Well, I mean, just go for a walk. Walk around the
Headphones.
park, listen to a podcast, exercise.
But what if there's a Pokémon? It's going to distract you from the podcast.
Well, your phone's not going to last by the time you get around the park if you're running.
We
Pokemon
always
on it.
this always happens, doesn't it? We always get into a blazing argument with each other before I've even introduced, like Kriss over
Hello.
there, Stephane, Shay, and Dave.
Hello.
And I'm the Windows 10 victim of the month. So holiday time. Nobody's missed much. Right. Good. So, not much news. Anything happened since last time? Windows 10?
No,
not free anymore?
Nothing.
Well, you can still get it, I guess.
Yeah. We might even mention that later. No Man's Sky came out.
Yes, I hear.
Wow, it finally came out
Got it.
after
Not that
all
I've-
these updates of being pushed back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it finally happened. But let's start with Teachable Moment of the Month. We should have a jingle for that.
We should have.
So, right, them Olympics, yeah? So there's this artistic gymnast from Japan. Artistic gymnast?
What was an artistic gymnast?
It's like a gymnast, but you don't fall over as much.
Okay.
I know that's a piss
So-
artistic, isn't it?
So it's not
Yeah.
interpretative dance.
I think it is.
That's artistic with a silent F.
I'm not aware.
So his name's Kohei Uchimura. He got a bit bored waiting for his event in Rio, so he went out and he did some Pokémon GO, right, just to amuse himself, He didn't think about the roaming charges, did he? $5,000 US. This artistic gymnast burned on Pokémon
How much
GO.
is that per Pokemon, though? I mean, if that's for like 1,000 Pokemon, that's probably worth it.
Cheaper than our gold medals, isn't it? I
That
mean,
is.
4 million quid per gold medal.
I don't think there's 1,000 Pokemon.
One of his teammates
Catch the
said...
same one 100 times.
One of his teammates said, quotes, he looked dead at the team meal that day,
Oh.
but the phone company let him off and they only charged him $30.
That's how much it really costs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. No Man's Sky. Yeah, we can go over to our No Man's Sky correspondent, Dick.
Well, I've not played it for obvious reasons because
You've been collating the
I've been watching the videos
complaint.
and I've been watching the complaints.
Uh-huh.
I've heard that it doesn't run under Windows 10 at all, if you're lucky.
Oh.
And my friends that run Linux have got it working under Linux perfectly.
Wow.
Oh, excellent.
Marvellous. I know the hardware requirements and the software requirements are really pretty scary, aren't they? SSE4 and all this stuff.
Picky.
Yeah, picky. So where did you see all this No Man's Sky footage at all,
YouTube.
Dick? You sure it
Oh,
was
yes,
YouTube?
YouTube. And then the pre-release footage was available on Pornhub, of all places.
They tried to wipe it out, didn't they?
Yep,
And it
they
wound
did.
up on Pornhub.
Yeah. God, that was ages ago.
Oh, dear. Well, it's still the last 4
It
weeks,
was, it
though.
was.
Time moves fast in No Man's Sky world. Yeah. But
So was it good?
The footage was good, yes. It looked entertaining, and the recommended links were very entertaining.
I see.
Oh.
Oh.
Right. Yes. Okay.
Did you use it on Windows or Linux?
I've not played it,
Oh, sorry.
so I was watching the pre-release footage on the not so not so child-friendly website.
Okay.
Oh,
You can still view it. You can see live broadcasts on Steam if you don't have No Man's Sky and
Yeah.
you wish you had.
Yes.
So,
that's the thing these days. isn't it?
NoLive.com.
Backseat
Yeah.
driving.
yeah.
Watching people eat is a thing as well, apparently.
Oh, yeah, mukbang. It's a Korean
Oh,
sensation.
strange people. Okay, Windows 10 news as well, I guess. As I mentioned earlier, the 1-year special offer has expired. You now have to pay real, actual money for it. Except, here's the IT stuff pro tip of the month. Microsoft generously make Windows 10 available for people with accessibility issues, like if you're disabled and you've got problems using a keyboard, or if you're partially sighted and you have problems using the screen, that sort of thing. Well, there's an offer that you can get hold of Windows 10 for nothing.
Ooh.
So here's the pro tip. If you missed the upgrade, just go to the Windows Accessibility website and get a partially sighted friend to click the download button for you and you're good. In fact, it turns out the partially sighted friend turns out to be optional if you're willing to fib.
Really?
You could say you didn't see the text. And just,
Yes, yeah, didn't see the text that said you had to be partially sighted or accessibility.
I think we are all wearing glasses.
We
To
are.
be fair,
Yeah.
I hadn't noticed, you're right, yeah.
this is a room full of glasses. So I
We
mean,
are all partially sighted.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
okay, thank you.
So there you go. So if you're willing to fib, and the so-called anniversary update as well, that came out, didn't it? Anybody tried that?
I think it's broken my tablet a bit.
It's
Ooh.
broken my tablet a bit. I know that for a
and
fact.
it broke my desktop.
Oh my
Oh.
word!
It
Go
just
on.
didn't reboot. Nothing drastic.
Didn't reboot just the once, or didn't reboot ever?
Ever again. Yeah, but Dave's laptop today.
I installed it for.
I have no idea of what that is.
I've installed it for a radio amateur friend, and in fact, it had a positive effect on his machine. He had a number of updates which were not working,
Yeah.
and the anniversary edition is kind of a new release. Well, it just took 4 hours to install the software, but
Ooh.
That was the problem as well. I
yeah.
had on my little tablet. It needs 16 gigabyte of free space. The entire thing's only got a 32 gig flash.
yeah. So basically, I went to the website, downloaded an executable, which is a kind of installer, but then it has to go through the download part. Well, luckily, I'm happy enough to have a fast internet connection, but for the ones with a slow DSL,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
And after, so basically, if you just remove the time to download the software, on an average laptop, it took a good 4 hours, a number of restarts, just to get the software installed. So. Not the greatest of experience.
Well, to be fair, I won't be having that negative experience again.
No.
No?
No, because, well, the poor little tablet won't boot anymore. I'm going to
Oh
have to...
my gosh.
By the time I've worked out how to get secure boot disabled and all that, it's going to... Damn that, I'm going to stick Linux on there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
might
Even if
as
it's
well.
something
You just
smelly
hold down
like
all the
Ubuntu.
buttons when you turn it on. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, or press... You can plug a USB keyboard in, but I've done the repair installation, and the repair installation worked the first time, but still didn't clear enough disk space.
Mhm.
So I cleared some more disk space. I wiped out the...
Windows.
This is getting really
Deleted
boring
Windows.
for all the
Yeah.
listeners, isn't it? Long story short, the second time that I did the hardware repair thing, it just won't boot anymore. Just blank screen.
So you
Little
fixed
roundy
it.
thing, blank screen.
So you fixed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've noticed something is that there are tons of what so-called old laptops with a minimum of 4 gigabytes of memory. They are perfectly fine, those laptops. And I'd like to emphasize that because there was a trend to figure out ways to make your devices obsolete. It's not only for laptops; it goes for even your washing machine or whatever. When in fact they can last much longer. So before the trick was by the manufacturers was to modify the software, the firmwares of those devices to make them die earlier, basically. And now what I've noticed the trend is to make your laptops and tablets obsolete by not making them compatible with the next version, whether of Android or Windows or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So for me, that's a concern. People
It's good for Dell's share price.
yeah, sure. But it's also a good way for people to get acquainted with Linux systems. So many distributions, they are getting more and more graphical, and they are very nice to use. So I really encourage our listeners to give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, people say it's difficult to install, but it can't be harder than what I had to go through for the anniversary update on that tablet.
15 years ago, installing Linux was a pain. I openly say it.
Yeah.
But nowadays, it's all graphical. It's very nice to use. Simple interface. You don't have to search for hours for.
But it doesn't ask you any horrible questions. It asks you the same sort of questions you see from a Windows install.
I think they are very similar nowadays. And in terms of user experience, you have everything you need. Office suites, LibreOffice. If you pronounce it English way, but LibreOffice in French. Plenty of all the software you need. You'll find them. So give it a try. That's really worth it.
Yeah, I'm 100% with that. Yeah, thank you. So there you go. Anything else about Microsoft? Oh, they open sourced PowerShell, didn't they, on GitHub?
Yes, and then there was the person that created, I think it was curl.
Yes,
has asked them to remove the
fake
curl
that's built in.
Yeah.
The fake curl.
Yeah, the PowerShell version of curl, which isn't curl, it just sort of kind of does some of the things that are a bit like curl.
So they imply that they were using curl within PowerShell.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, it was an alias called curl that wasn't curl, and an alias called wget that wasn't wget. So when the author of curl, he stalked me on Twitter when I said something negative about curl, bless him, and solved the problem, which was pretty impressive. But he went there and had a little moan and said, "You got to get rid of these aliases," and they said, "No, we can't do that. We've got to have a conversation around the community process."
It's okay. We've dealt with Microsoft before. They'll just accidentally do it at about 3 a.m. when you're not expecting it. Your machine will just turn off, come back on, it'll be gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
All be well.
That's sneaky.
So there we are. We really sort of like running out of time. But quickly, here's your monthly fail roundup. Disney's Playdom forums have Mickey Mouse security, usernames, passwords, email addresses, all leaked, usual stuff. 200 million Yahoo account details for sale on the darknet right now. Are they real? Who knows? I'm not going to pay for them. Telegram, supposed to be ultra secure. Nope. 15 million phone numbers leaked. Gets used by some interesting people in the Middle East, dissidents as well as the bad guys.
That's a problem, It's for people to really do we advocate privacy when some software are used by good and bad guys? That's a big question.
Yeah, but then the software is neutral. It's just a tool. I mean, nobody complains when screwdrivers are used by good guys and bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, but the ultimate fail this month is there was a case doing the rounds of somebody's Roomba vacuum cleaner. You know what a Roomba vacuum cleaner out there is in Listenerland? It's like, imagine something from Robot Wars, only it's much more friendly, and it rolls around your house at night doing the vacuum cleaning for you.
If you've seen the cartoon, The Jetsons, it's the housemaid, the robot.
Or the cat sat in a sharky outfit driving around.
Yeah.
So these people went to bed one night and their dog did a whoopsie on the carpet. And the Roomba robot vacuum cleaner thing rolled over it. It went everywhere. Only thing is, it looks like these people were, far be it from me to be cynical, but it looked to me like they were angling for a free replacement from the manufacturers.
Well, they got it.
And they got it, yeah.
A replacement dog? That's not nice.
Oh,
Was it a dog?
Roomba.
Okay, perhaps. Okay, fine. So, you're listening to IT Stuff on BCB Radio 106.6 FM. Coming up in the second half of the show, it's She's World of Stuff and local events. But first, we've got a mega anniversary corner for you.
Happy birthday!
Quite a momentous couple of days back in 1991. The 25th of August, that's today if you're listening on Thursday's show. That's the 25th anniversary of the announcement of Linux.
Oh.
And
Happy
2
birthday.
days, indeedy. And 2 days before that, 23rd of August, was the 25th anniversary of public availability of the World Wide Web.
Wow.
They're calling it Internauts Day.
Oh,
dear.
why? What's going on?
What are they thinking? I mean, they're not going to make Internauts Day key rings or something, are
they,
they?
they already have.
Yeah.
Should
Oh,
they
well.
call it like Deaf to Gopher or something?
Gopher. I used to love Gopher. It was good, wasn't it? It worked really well.
Oh, collecting FTP
Yeah.
files via
Do you
email.
do you remember Archie and Veronica?
Archie, sounds
Yeah.
like and stuff. I
All
remember.
that wiped out. Shocking, innit? So there you go. We should remind the listeners, the web is not the net, and the net is not the web. Fair enough?
That's a terrible acronym.
This, you see, I try and do a bit of public service educating, and you just come out with coruscating banter. Fine, I won't bother explaining about, like, we had email for years before the web and Bill Gates didn't invent it, and so there you go.
I'm pretty sure Steve Jobs
I was
invented
going to
it.
say that.
It's no longer Bill Gates.
Steve's job, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
It's
wind me
updated.
up, it'll work.
Or was it Lennart? Calm down.
So now Lennart has swallowed the Mount Demon. Oh, yeah.
Moving swiftly on.
Listeners, moving swiftly on. Something else that happened this month, even though Linux is everywhere and it's even at the heart of your Android phones, and it's probably at the heart of Roomba robots as well, isn't it? Vacuum cleaners, I shouldn't be
Probably.
surprised. Google has announced a project that might end up replacing Linux in Android. It's called Fuchsia and it's written in Dart.
It's pink.
Yeah, well, yeah, we like pink. It's a specific kind of pink. Yeah.
Well, I like magenta, not fuchsia.
Oh,
Yeah.
if you put them side by side, I can't. What?
Yeah.
Magic.
No, magenta. It's invisible, in color, in games.
Everyone
in
knows
graphics.
magenta's invisible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, right. Oh, you mean in terms of overlays and yeah.
If you're going to pick a colour to be invisible,
Yeah,
you always
yeah.
choose magenta.
Yeah,
Everyone
obviously.
knows that.
Oh. You know these things, don't you?
Oh.
You're clever. This is why we have them on.
It is.
Well, that and the wonderfulness that is She's World of Stuff.
Well, the world of stuff today, what do we have? We have the Omega 2, which is a $5 Linux computer with Wi-Fi, which is about the size of an SD card, or if you look at the Kickstarter page, it's the size of a cherry. So, strange.
Yeah.
But with all Kickstarter stuff, it's already fully funded, so, too late if you want to jump on the
You've got to buy it
bandwagon.
at double the price on eBay now.
Yeah, it's about $5. It's 500. Well, it seems really, really modular and specifically for the Internet of Things. So
Right,
basically,
yeah.
you just buy lots of modules, clip it together, and it supposedly does things and runs apps. So it has its own app store or some sort like that.
Oh, good grief.
But if you do Kickstart it, as most Kickstarters are, realistically about 2-3 years before you actually see the final thing. So just keep it there.
Are you still waiting for?
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the chip. I mean, I wasn't in the Kickstarter. I didn't fund it. I wasn't a backer, but I pre-bought it, so pre-purchase, pre-order. Even then, you're waiting for a long queue of people pre-ordering stuff. So yeah.
The thing that struck me looking at the specs of the things is it's basically it's almost identical to what you'd expect to find in a router, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what the Internet of Things is. It's the Internet of routers.
Yeah. But you know, like you consume a 40 quid, you know, home hub or something, and there's this thing that's basically it's the size of an SD card and $5. That's where we're heading.
I mean, your router is actually just one of those in the centre of it. The rest is just an empty box to make it look like it's worth 40 quid.
It was £80 or something. Yeah.
All the extra sockets.
Yeah.
Any idea what type of microprocessor it is? Or microprocessor, I would say.
I have no idea.
A small one?
ARM-based?
small
It'll be
one.
one of the arms. Yeah.
Probably an ARM chip, maybe. Yeah.
Omega 2.
Japanese. Yeah.
Because 580 megahertz.
Yeah.
That's quite fast for.
It is quite
a
a
small
hefty,
computer.
tiny machine, and this one is the Omega 2. They have the Omega 2 Plus, which is $9, and it's even more powerful. So
Oh.
it's
Right.
yeah. There's a lot of these small little chips coming out that are a lot more powerful than, say, the Pi.
Yeah, the Pi Zero is the obvious comparison, and this thing is marvellous up to that.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, Kriss, as well, the interesting thing you pointed out this month is an Acer Aspire 10 tablet going for 40 quid.
Oh yeah, that's just the power of eBaying. But it's around about 50 quid gets you a tablet. That's the deal
A
nowadays.
10-inch tablet yet?
Yeah, around about 50 quid will get you a second-hand refurbished tablet.
I mean, people keep saying tablets are going out of fashion. Is that why the deals keep appearing?
I guess it's all just like, just old computers. You buy them for like 100 quid. You go down Tesco's, you buy a tablet, it's like £100, and then you sell it second hand. It's going to be about 50 quid. So.
Yeah, fair enough. It's amazing, though. I mean, why do people say tablets are going out of fashion when even the spanking, up-to-date ones are like 100 quid?
You can't find anything else apart from tablets. If you go into Tesco's, again, it's all tablets. You don't find any laptops in there.
Well, Tesco have their own administrative problems, don't they? Or our Tesco does, anyway. Okay, yeah, cheers. Thanks very much indeed, everybody. I guess it's time to move on to a quick roundup of some local events. Coming up in Hebden Bridge in another few days, there's Wuthering Bites. Let's plug them to death by running down the turntable. Friday 2nd September is the festival day. Science, software, design, hardware and you. So you sit in Hebden Bridge Town Hall and you listen to some really amazing talks, and then they feed you and you get to look at the ducks in the river.
Wow.
And then you sit down and nod off while there's some more amazing talks.
Are you going to be there this year?
Yeah, nodding off at the back. Yeah.
Feeding the ducks?
I've paid me tenner. Yeah, it's not bad for a day out and a meal, is it?
Is everyone going then?
No, not at the moment.
Why?
Dreading to pay for.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so depends what that bill is going to be.
Okay.
We're going to have a special show in November for you and Sarah, aren't we?
Yes.
Okay, Saturday and Sunday, the 3rd and the 4th, there's going to be the Open Source Hardware Camp. This is all about hardware hacking. The 4th is a workshop and the 3rd is talks and demonstrations. Monday is Open Source for Business Day. And that's where I lose interest mostly.
Are you a business? It's a very simple question.
Eyes glaze over, really. Yeah, go to that if you're the kind of person that likes wearing suits. Tuesday, Smart Cities. That's all about sensors, Internet of Things, clever bus routes, and scary traffic lights. And is that about right?
Yeah.
Self-driving cars if somebody wants to spin you a tale of the future.
Yep.
Believe that when I see it round here. Thursday, Friday and Saturday, here's your warning really, it's International Compiler and Toolchain gatherings. So it's the LLVM people and the GNU Cauldron. So there's going to be the people from glibc there.
Is that-
Seriously?
If that's not, yeah,
Oh,
you know,
wow.
the
That's
the
got-
scariest,
Flame war. Oh,
yeah, the scariest Bugzilla in the
Oh.
planet is coming to Hebden Bridge.
Shall I bring popcorn?
You just can bring mace. It should be
It's
enough
gonna be
to
like-
be hot enough there to pop them.
I mean, I hope they're web streaming it live because it's going to be like Twitch TV, isn't it? You know, like with bloodshed live, really.
Yeah, it reminds me of
Spattering against the cameras,
Emacs versus Vim.
especially with the LLVM people in the same town the day before, so
Well-
that they all get on well
It's gonna be a
and
fight,
talk to each
yeah.
other.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
just a quick reminder for those who are not fully aware of that, but LLVM is a kind of let's say it kind of a replacement, okay, for the GNU toolchain.
Business-friendly replacement.
Very business oriented, yeah.
Half a
Uh,
compiler.
And they spend all day saying to each other, to the GNU people and the LLVM people, they spend all day saying to each other how much they really want to work together.
Oh,
Wow.
lots of politics.
Yes.
Yeah,
So-
because on one hand you have the business-oriented people, and on the other hand you have the free-oriented people.
Yeah.
Freedom and business sometimes collide, and I think that would be a good
The real
example
question
of it.
is, do you want your error messages to be in pretty bright colours or not? I mean, that's the main
Well,
thing
they
that
are
you're...
in
Well,
GCC
yes, I know.
5.
Yeah.
See, that's
You
copying.
set
That's...
GCC underscore colours.
No, I would change it into it's a strategy point of view. It's do you want your code to be becoming closed sourced, or do you want your code to be more open?
I don't know. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, like C99 is newfangled, and that's like 17 years ago now. I don't trust any of that stuff.
Well,
It's,
there are
it's
some
the flame
movements.
wars I'm interested in, you know, the bloodshed.
Yeah.
If it's on the news, everybody out there in Radio Land, right, if you watch the news on Sunday night and there's a police incident in Hebden Bridge and nobody's letting out any details, right, it's not terrorism, right, it's the GCC people and the LLVM people.
Well, at this point, although LLVM gained quite some traction, I do not see it like overtaking GCC very soon, because most of the tool chains for microprocessor, microcontrollers are all GCC based. So if there is a real danger, I would say we'll see it coming.
I have to say, it's really handy as well for Linux packaging, because if you hit a GCC compiler bug, all you do is just export CC equals clang, and you're using LLVM. Or vice versa, if you hit a clang bug, you just export CC equals.
Yeah, that's why I always build with both, and then
Yeah.
you get twice the number of bugs. It's much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a bug is still a bug, regardless of the tool chain. Yeah.
Anyway, thanks everybody. We're just about done for another 4 weeks. Next week, this time, you'll get Fandom and Filmdom with the Fandomain. But to play us out, keeping the 1991 vibe going, summer 1991 was an epic time for music. Smells Like Teen Spirit came out. Seems like it's always been there. These days, it's a classic floppy disk drive number. But the one we found on YouTube was awful, wasn't it?
It's harsh to the ear.
Yeah,
Was it the shovel?
yeah, it was awful, really. Shovel?
Yeah, there's
No.
the shovel that
Shovel version.
the
of-
shovel version of.
What?
You haven't seen it. It's on the internet.
If
You've
I'd
been to the
known
internet.
That, if I'd known that.
Somebody threw a shovel on the ground, and it sounded like the
Oh,
smart
that!
of.
Oh, that was years ago.
I know.
I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, it goes. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah. Oh well, fine. And
Not a lot of
the
people
big
can play a shovel like that. That takes a lot of skill.
Oh, this is why we overrun every month, isn't it? Yeah. The great thing is that the people on YouTube get the full effect of all this now, because we don't know how to edit out me going flappy flap with my arm. And then on Sarah Records there was this little number from the Field Mice, which is much more relaxing and it seemed more appropriate. It's called September's Not So Far Away. Ta-ra!